Wow, it took me 30 minutes to get ready for this video. I do this because I love y'all, but of course we got to talk about Moses Brown being back in the NBA. I want to hear your thoughts down below in the comment section. What do you guys think? This news is coming from Charania. Moses Brown. Again, guys, continuing with my little jersey swaps I'm doing myself. And let's get right into it. What is it that you're getting in Moses Brown at this point in his NBA career, as he's a journeyman, former five-star high school recruit that is a guy who fits the NBA. Once they expand, he's definitely going to be a guy who sticks around. But again, like I said, Shams Charania broke the news, and the Indiana Pacers decided to sign 7'2" center Moses Brown as a calculated move to address their immediate roster needs, as they're dealing with a lot of injuries. Obvious ones: Isaiah Jackson and James Wiseman out for the season, both popped their Achilles. Then you have Myles Turner, who recently got hurt. And we've been waiting for the Pacers to basically sign somebody for a while now. And they go out and they get themselves Moses Brown, which, if you look at it, I think this was the right signing. And I'm just kind of surprised he hasn't taken the bag to go overseas yet. At 25 years old, it feels like he's been in the NBA bubble for a decade, but it's really been since 2019. And he's a guy who, so far in his career, he's been able to show that he can come in and be an impact guy. And this past season, last year, he played for a little bit with the Portland Trail Blazers, but primarily with the Rip City remix. And he absolutely killed it with Rip City, averaging 15.8 points, 10.5 rebounds, and a few blocks a game, while his G stats in general have been 15 and 10. He's insane. So this is a guy that obviously he's still offensively raw. His size and mobility, 7'2" with a huge wingspan, allows him to be this kind of shot blocking, switchable player. Yes, he has mobility, which allows him to avoid being exposed on switches. And honestly, I think you can see that over the years, he's really just honed in what he's good at, which is grabbing boards, contesting shots, and being kind of a drop coverage big, and sometimes, being able to go out and guard some forwards. Obviously, he's not going to get exposed by bigger players. What he'll get exposed is probably in transition. However, the Pacers are currently 6-7, and bringing in Moses Brown, as they're 6th in the Eastern Conference, they're 6th in points per game at 114. They're 8th in assists with 27.9. So they have a strong offense, but their rebounding is 3rd worst in the NBA. 40 rebound per game. That's terrible. Their defensive inefficiencies, they're allowing 116.6 points per game, which is the 6th worst. And that's hindering their ability to close out games effectively. And bringing in a guy like Moses Brown, who his rebounding ability, which is his biggest, calling card, is going to really help them. And then also the fact that he's a guy who has a tendency to actually block shots and be a rim protector, it's going to force teams to, not be able to go inside. And yeah, I know people are going to be like, well, he's not going to play a bunch of minutes. Of course, he's a guy who for his career plays about 12 minutes a night, 5 points, 5 rebounds, just under a block a game, 56% from the field. That's what you're getting. 2 of those are offensive rebounds, 3 are defensive rebounds. Nothing insane. But Myles Turner being sidelined, the Pacers don't have a true center with any experience on the roster. And I love Enrique Freeman, but Turner, before his injury, he was averaging 17.6 points, 7 rebounds, and 2 blocks per game, while shooting 42.4% from 3. And obviously Moses Brown isn't going to be replicating any of those, Myles Turner stats. But with Obi Toppin and Enrique Freeman right now being the 2 center options that they've been that they kind of have on the team, it's going to be an immediate sighting of Moses Brown in the lineup, as he's going to come in and be able to, and this is something that he's done regularly, be a plug and play guy, as he has had success coming in. And I don't think he's going to be playing against Toronto. We're playing tonight. They play Toronto tomorrow. Or on the 20th, he'll probably play their next game. But I mean, tonight it seemingly is, if they're not running Myles Turner out there, and there's already Ben Shepherd, Aaron Nesmith, and Andrew Nemhard out. So my assumption is the starting lineups for tonight is Obi Toppin, right? Or Enrique Freeman. I'm very curious to see how that one goes out, because as we look at the situation, I think the Pacers are a team that are 5-6 against Eastern Conference opponents, and they've shown that they can hang with the best of them. But with Mr. Myles Turner being out for the foreseeable future, bringing in a guy like Moses Brown, who's going to fit Rick Carlisle's style of adaptability and exploiting mismatches. Like, Rick Carlisle is a guy who's been able to integrate big men into his system, who are able to be defensively versatile. And I think Moses Brown's mobility for his size and his ability to finish the play aligns well with Rick Carlisle's system. And before Rick Carlisle and Nerlens Noel hated each other, they were actually pretty good pairing. I'm not going to sit here and say Moses Brown is going to, do what Nerlens Noel did. But what I'm saying is that Moses Brown, using that size, length, and his mobility, will allow Rick Carlisle to run more pick and rolls and actually roll rim run instead of having the pick and pop option that he does with Myles Turner. And Obi Toppin's more of a lob threat. But under Carlisle, I think Brown can focus on being a more disciplined defender and developing, just his chemistry with his teammates, while just primarily being a catch and finish opportunity-based offensive player inside the paint. And I think Carlisle will maximize that for Brown, as he's always been this kind of high energy role player mindseted guy. So I think the Pacers roster, which obviously has players that are going to complement Moses Brown, with Tyrese Haliburton being the team leader, 16 points, almost 9 assists a night. So that elite passing ability and court vision is just going to be the excellent point guard for Moses Brown in a pick and roll and lob situation. And then you got Bennedict, Mathurin, who in transition Moses Brown is going to be there to clean up anything of, the 19 points per game, 7 rebounds that Bennedict, Mathurin, or is it Mathurin or Mathurin? It's Mathurin, right? Or Mathurin. I'm confused, but he's a solid guy. Another guy, TJ McConnell, who can throw him lobs, averaging 9 and 4. And Obi Toppin's been really solid. And having Obi out there, they have a bunch of guys who are going to allow Brown to benefit from the spacing for the guards and wings and forwards to operate, while he'll be an interior presence. While defensively, Jarris Walker, who's averaging 1.5 steals, could help, cover for Brown as he adjusts to the Pacers' defensive scheme. So for me, I think right now, if you've seen Moses Brown over the careers, he's became a guy who's incrementally improved as a rebounder, as a finisher, and even as a versatile defender. So I think he could thrive in a well-structured system and with disciplined coaching like a guy Rick Carlisle would provide, and having, experienced point guard like Tyrese Haliburton, having a guy like Pascal Siakam out there as well to play with, is going to be absolutely huge. So in the short term, I think Pacers fans and the Pacers themselves can expect Moses Brown to provide rebounding, interior scoring, and obviously the defensive presence that they need. Now, this could parlay into long-term Brown developing maybe into a guy who, with Isaiah Jackson, James Wiseman, I think signed a 2-year deal. No, it might have been a 1-year deal, but I think it was a 2-year deal. Isaiah Jackson is a free agent. I don't think they're bringing back Isaiah Jackson, but if Moses Brown plays really well, he could potentially be that reliable rotational player. And James Wiseman's on a 2-year deal, but his second year is only $500,000 guaranteed. So Moses Brown could be the guy who ends up, adapting to this roster, seizes the opportunity of being a part of Rick Carlisle's system and the Pacers' injury, driven needs, and ends up becoming a mainstay. Let me hear your thoughts down below. Bye.